One. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Brock Bowen here again, having another conversation on behalf of the quantum movement, my friends over there that I'm heavily involved with. And the theme's understanding you. And today I'm bringing on an absolute legend who I've got a lot of respect, admiration, and do a lot of projects together with, Mr. Chris Action Jackson. So just let us know where you are today, Chris, what you're up to and what you're all about.
Yeah, today I'm coming to you from beautiful sunny Perth. And what am I up to? Well, I've just come from a couple of business meetings, just been planning some collaborations and some business coaching clients and some joint ventures and that sort of thing. So lots of cool, new, expansive, innovative new ideas. And what am I up to? Well, I'm up to collaborating with obviously the fabulous Brock Life of Terry Bowen, yourself, in creating the world's finest transformational experiences that money traditionally can't buy, and just making a massive impact in the world, just helping to really give people that deepest level of transformation where their world changes, where they're then able to create and manifest and ultimately transform the life that they want to. So that's my biggest project in my life is helping people transform their lives. So yeah, that's what I'm up to.
Awesome. So we're going to go through a few different questions here, but first, let's touch on Jason. Jason's, one of the main guys at Quantum Movement. Just tell me a bit about him. When you see him on the videos or you chat to him, and it's a bit about him. What's the vibe or the person?
Jason is an absolute legend. So wise, so incredibly insightful about not only like human behavior, but spiritual wisdom and understanding what truly makes us tick. It's just such a wealth of knowledge and information, and just very, very grounded. So it's I had the privilege of chatting to him quite a lot. And in each of the conversations I've had, there's been like big nuggets of gold, big light globe moments that have gone off, and just a real deep appreciation for his wisdom and his insight. So and watching his videos on Facebook as well. Yeah, just very, very intrigued to learn more about what he's got and learn more about his teachings, because he's just got something that's uniquely different and something that I certainly want to absorb more of into my and embody that energy that he has.
Yeah, for sure. So if you were just talking about this to a lady friend, family member, or one of your mates, and you're going to express a bit of gratitude, you're quite early days to doing this. We'll do another video in 5 or 6 weeks and just have another chat. But what's been happening for you since you've been doing this?
Yeah, it's been an incredible realization. Going through the quantum process has been certainly a greater sense of feeling grounded, certainly more present, and there's less internal chatter, there's less internal dialogue, and there's like a silence of the mind, almost like there's no need to. I'm very, very good at analyzing and overanalyzing, and so for me there's a beautiful quietening and a quietening of the mind, and it's certainly a sense of peace in terms of trusting that I already have the answer, I already have the issue, I already have the intuition that I need, and all the resources that I have are within me and are reminding me of that. So definitely going through these processes has certainly brought me back to a more of a grounded presence, and just trusting more of that intuition and trusting in that guidance that exists, that inherently we have on the journey. So it is difficult to put into words because it's a new experience, but certainly I would say certainly more grounded and very much more intuitive. That's how I describe it.
Fantastic. So tell me what you were like before you were doing all this sort of stuff. I know a lot of it, but just for people watching, some like you've obviously done a different career. You've done a lot of investing in a lot of courses and stuff like that. So I'm just curious, what were you like before? And
well, before I wouldn't say I was very. I wouldn't describe myself as a very consciously aware creature. Certainly high on life and low life, but I didn't have that deeper level of conscious awareness about what my life was really about. So there was, I guess, a distinct lack of, while there was joy and there was appreciation, there wasn't the sense of purpose and mission. So I guess that's the difference that I see now is it's really having a higher purpose. It's having a sense that there's a reason why I'm here and I've got a job to do. And certainly then understanding more about, how do I then live that? So first of all, getting clarity on what is that, and then how do I now physically do that? How do I do that even better? How do I do it more efficiently, optimally, and how do I make even more impact? So yeah, it's been really getting a greater level of clarity about the purpose, but then also, well, how do you actualize that? Because it's all well and good to have your purpose, and which is like a sense of why you're here. But then, I believe that one of the reasons why we're in this life is to actually actualize that. It's not to sit on a mountain and just meditate. It's to actually get in and get something done and actually make an impact. So it's also having the tools and actually then implementing as well, which I think is equally important, if not more important, to actually getting the job done. So on so many different dimensions, so many different levels, there's been, I guess, transformed my way of thinking. So I'm certainly now more drawn to it. I'm attracted to doing everything I'm doing. It's not like work. I do it because I love it. Everything I'm doing now, I'm loving it. I'm immersed in it. It's just it's a sense of this is what I was born to do.
I've even noticed that too. Like for myself, I was talking about this with you, off camera before. I'm just finding implementing a lot easier. I'm doing stuff that I would never do. I'd normally flick it off to you or Christy or someone else on the team, and I just having more ease with that. I've even seen you with the videos. Normally we outsource a lot of these things, but you've been doing videos amazingly. And I've been noticing it too, like a little bit of being in the right place at the right time even more. But, next thing I want to look at, if you were talking to this about to a close friend, what are some of the results that you've experienced, even, at this early stages that might not have been possible before?
Yeah, I would, again, for me, the big one comes back to being able to ground yourself and being able to bring yourself back to being present. Like, particularly when, like, we all know life gets challenging. All know, like, particularly when we start pushing ourselves way out of our comfort zone. That I know you and I are obviously, in this space, this is where the game is played. We're pushing ourselves way beyond what we ever thought was possible, like just completely blowing the boundaries of what we thought reality was. So we're in a position of there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of like, how the hell am I going to do this? And then going through this process and regrounding ourselves, for me, it's reminding myself that I already have the answers, that we already have it. So it's not going outside of ourselves to search for something. It's actually going internally and going and just checking on our own wisdom, our own looking for that insight from within. So that's been the big thing, is just reminding myself that it's already inside, and knowing that I've got access to that whenever I want it. So
I love that.
It's a powerful feeling.
So what are some of the shifts in your thinking?
Yeah, looking less for external validation, like caring less about what other people think, caring less about going with a strategy, like as in like the cookie cutter recipe. It's going with, there's appreciating at a deeper level that there's more than one way to look at it. And also recognizing that when we approach it with our own style, with our own uniqueness, with our own flavor, sometimes that's better than we could have done it by following a recipe, by following the cookie cutter approach, because we're doing it in a way that's energetically aligned with who we are. We're not trying to be someone that we're not. So sometimes, so that's what I'm finding more and more, is being more of me, putting more of me on show, being more, even prouder, more appreciative of who I am and my style, and putting that on show, and giving less of a damn about what other people think, which for me has been a journey to get there, and stepping into that place where it's a place of power, of like owning who we are and owning our style. So certainly celebrating that more and more.
Yeah, I love that, owning our style and all that elements. I even like some of the stories you've had recently. I know you just landed a big client recently. Even how we can talk brand names on here, can't we? Publicly, you've landed a while ago, not just because of quantum movement. This is prior to that. But some of the ways you do things are quite different anyway. And, I think that's cool. Has it amplified that? I'm just going to say it because, we can edit it if it's not allowed to be on here.
No,
but
we can say it.
We can say whatever we want. We got it.
We can say it.
Chris landed Mercedes-Benz as a client, but by actually meeting someone at an event, going along to the gentleman's house, going along to a particular guy's house, adding so much value to this guy's life that he just couldn't help but hire Chris to be part of the team. And, just recently, Chris and I have gone and met with that gentleman. You're now about to do something else where you're flying into Melbourne to go and have another meeting. And I'm just fascinated by it because you seem to just have this natural ability to take action, that's not necessarily logical, but then you apply the strategies or whatever applies to it. So I'm curious now, how are you finding that shift where you know what to do? What's been going on for you that's a little bit different?
Yeah, and I guess that in itself is I guess what I've built on. It's that building relationships and recognizing that the success in business is based on relationships, and it's based on being able to connect, and it's based on that realness. And I guess what I've done is I've built on that. There was always a level of appreciation there about how important relationships are, but now bringing more of that authenticity to the relationship, more of that openness, being willing to acknowledge where there might be some conflict, or being willing. It's like that, having that courage to have those open conversations and being willing to go wherever it needs to go. Sure. Knowing that when you show up as the best version of yourself, you can overcome anything. So for me, it's been a greater sense of self-trust in trusting that relationship process and trusting who we are, and also being less attached to an outcome. Yeah, I guess that's what I've learned is, I used to go into a lot of relationships with some sort of expectation, whereas now it's just like, hey, I'm going to show up as the best version of myself, and whatever happens, and either way, it's a beautiful thing. So I think energetically that gets communicated as well when we don't have this expectation. It's just cool. This is who I am. Don't take me for who I am. It's either way. It's all good. So I think I think that inherent attitude has certainly helped me show up as the best version of myself. Yeah.
I love that. Even even the last week, 2 weeks ago or less than, I caught up with some of the brothers from California, and I had a small window. They had a small window. So we went for a quick surf, and now you've just hosted the guys at your house, which you never quite know what exactly that's going to mean in the future, but it's just an awesome thing to do. And I love that, you've stepped outside your comfort zone, got a big house, so you've got room for people. It's almost as if you're just going out and biting off a little bit more than you can chew. And I'm sure there's probably been a little bit of overwhelm and anxiety at certain times with that. But I want to know, before and after, what are you finding different?
Yeah. Thank you. It's been great having these guys over and visiting. And it's great. It's always great for me pushing the comfort zone, always biting off more than I can chew. I guess I've just made a habit of that. That's my new benchmark for if I'm making progress in my life, is if I'm biting off more than I can chew. That's my benchmark. So there's going to be a level of discomfort there. Life isn't meant to be comfortable. The growth happens in the uncomfortable zone. So yeah, that's kind of my benchmark now. So yeah, it really, I guess it's shifted. My philosophy is shifting. It's now more about stretching myself and stepping into that vulnerability now, which is I'm appreciating more and more and more is the more that I step into that uncertainty and that vulnerability and that unknown, that's the goal. That's where all the gold is. That's where the hidden treasure is in terms of really redefining and exploring who we truly are and magnifying our magnificence. So yeah, that uncertainty, that uncomfortable feeling, I'm actually drawn to that more and more. So that's one big thing that I'm actually really celebrating more and more.
I love that. What have you found confronting? I'm just going through it too, like with the stuff with quantum movement. Just going through just really briefly, normally on these conversations, I don't really share much of my experience, but I feel to today. I had like some funny stuff going with my nose where like one side would flare up and then the other one would flare up. I'm like, Jason, what's going on, brother? I hope this stuff works. Like there's different things that confronted me. I had just a whole lot of different things where I realized there was certain areas to let go, different ideals that I had around being a dad and how I was showing up there. I've got a boy who's 6.5 months old. You've obviously met him. So I'm curious with you, like with relationships, with business, how you're conducting yourself. What are some of the things that have confronted you a little bit?
Yeah, that's a good one. Because I think the more deeply we look inward, we're always going to find chinks in the armor. And it takes courage to do that. And that's one of the things I've had to draw upon going through more of these processes, is recognizing it takes courage to look inward and it's not always a nice feeling looking inward and noticing that there's incongruencies and sometimes if we don't have people that call us on our shit, we've got to call ourselves on our shit. And I guess that's been a good opportunity, is to go and look, where am I incongruent? Where am I actually avoiding something? Or where am I playing a small game? Where am I avoiding things? Like where are there conversations or communications that I want to be having or should be having, but I'm not having. So again, asking those questions, well, where should I be taking action, but I'm not? And then looking at what comes up, and then, again, identifying, well, what's the limitation there? What are the limiting beliefs? What's the mindset? What's the attitude? Like, what's going on? And then starting to then really appreciate what comes up from those processes and asking those kind of questions. So yeah, it's taken a bit of courage to step into that. But it's well worth the journey. It's well worth the trip of what the realizations and the changes that come out of that, particularly around taking more action and being more willing to go into that uncomfortable, unfamiliar territory and just trust what's going on.
I'm fascinated to see it moving forward. Obviously, we do, global transformation experiences together, and we'll do a heap of other projects. But yeah, I'm curious to see with your skill set and your background. Chris was an engineer when I was fortunate enough to meet Chris about 3 years ago. And we got to know each other back then, and now he's full-time, business strategist, founder of Global Transformation Experiences, been twice to Burning Man, done all kinds of different things. And I'm fascinated to see how it blends with things like what you keep, what you let go of, all those different things. It's something that I've been going through the process. So it'd be cool to, when we have our next conversation around this, just to explore that, how we navigate all those different things. But yeah, I don't know. I appreciate you trusting me on this one and taking action and jumping in, which is awesome. It's something that I feel anyone we work with now, in the team, I want to make sure that this is a base level of what they've done. It just makes things so much simpler. And something that even when I was speaking to you on the phone the other day, almost the question that I could hear, you weren't necessarily saying it, but it was almost, it can't be that simple, can it? And you and I have had some incredible experiences together with our recent trips to Bali and even staying at, what was it called, Permata Ayung. And I've been fascinated by those different things. When we're just present and care for people, it's almost as if these strategies show up in the flow. And I'm curious, as we progress through these different things and whatever else we choose to do, how we navigate it. But yeah, it's great to be sharing this experience with you, my brother. And anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
Oh, it's been an incredible journey, brother, and it's amazing to integrate all these fantastic modalities of transformation and healing, and just bringing together the best of the best knowledge and wisdom and skills and just ultimate life upgrade techniques and technologies. It's just great to just be on this journey of just putting it all together and making it in our style and delivering it, making it the best ever. So it's a pleasure to be on the journey with you, brother. I'm excited about where we're going.
100%. I see you in 2 days. How good is this?
So good, bro. So good. Looking forward to it.
It's incredible. Insane. I'm about to jump on a plane, go all over the place. It's a disgrace. Stop on your face. I did a quick freestyle on one of the ones the other day, which was fun. But yeah, do you want to lay down a quick freestyle for the end of it?
Oh, mate, I can't beat that. I'm gonna leave that for you, man. You're the man.
Yo,
you're the man. I'm not sure if I can, but either way, you and I are gonna go for a ran to the next thing you're going to say.
All of that stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure for you guys to watch us. I don't even know why I said that. You're just lucky to be watching us. We're lucky to be making this for you. We're all lucky. We're alive. Life's amazing. Chris Action Jackson, always appreciate your time. And yeah, appreciate you guys watching this. Love doing the stuff with the quantum movement. Love everything else I'm up to. And life's amazing. Boom.
Thank you, brother.